Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I have been sick all day, but the upside is the sleep has been great. It's been sweet. So I'm thankful for that. I did want to talk about something really quick. I had fundraised money to buy a white Swiss Shepherd from Canada, and I was ready to make my down payment last year. And found out that there were some new rules implemented with importing dogs to the United States the day I was ready to put down a down payment, which was very frustrating because I can't afford to buy the breed in the United States. So I looked into it, and they want to prevent rabies because in over 100 countries, rabies is not under control. But they're making these rules apply and stick to countries that are not high risk. In other words, countries that do have rabies under control. And I don't think that they should have the same rules for dogs coming in from low risk countries like Canada, for instance. I have a disability. I'm fighting to get through college. It's a lot, and I'm lonely a lot. And that's the reason I was adopting, because a dog can feel that companionship when you're busy and you don't have a lot of energy and everything's going into getting an education so you can build a career and you don't have time for anything else. You know, you want something at home you can take care of that isn't on a timeline like everybody else in the world is. Because, you know, even when you have a good social support group and good friends, they have their own schedule and they can't always meet when you're well or when you have time. But a dog's just there all the time, and I've had a dog before and I really enjoyed it. And so it was something important to me, but now it's outside of my price range. And I needed the closest thing to a German Shepherd because they're really smart, but there's no breed restrictions on the Swiss Shepherds because they're very similar to German Shepherds. They're smart. They've got a good IQ. They can learn like German Shepherds can, but they don't have the same level of aggression that a lot of the other German Shepherds do. The German Shepherds, they're sweet and they're protective, and you have to handle them a certain way in order to, you know, at least a lot of them, like the show lines and the working lines. I think there are some pet lines of German Shepherds who they're a little bit easier on novel pet owners, but you know, there's a skill level you have to develop in order to work with the German Shepherds, and you have to be mindful and careful about things that you wouldn't have to in other dog breeds. That's just standard. It's why it's important to get a dog that fits your household, because their personality traits are all different. So anyways, the reason why I can't have another German Shepherd at this time is because I have to raise my puppy at a friend's house who is also, he's a dog trainer, because I'm not allowed to have it in my home. So the fact that I enjoyed working with the German Shepherd so much and I had so much success with my other dog was a working line. My friend lives in an apartment complex with breed restrictions. So like I have to do that. And so now I can't really get an animal that I'm satisfied with within my price range because of this. And so that's been very hard on me. And it's hurt business in Canada too, because the breeder that I was buying from got a lot of business from America. And for what? I mean, she went and she made sure her dogs were rabies free. She raises them right. She wouldn't give high risk dogs away. So, you know, it's tough. And I think that it's important that we definitely keep regulations for high risk countries. I think it will save animals and people. But I do think we need to call the CDC. I think we need to call whoever can influence this decision. I think we need to relook at the rules for low risk countries because I think that it's important to keep those options open for people, especially low income people. And the other thing that's important to note is that waiting until they're 6 months of age, it costs more if you want to keep it with the breeder, which is also outside of the price range. But also, like, when you're training them, like I'd be training mine to be a service animal, you want to bring them home at 8 weeks as soon as like it's safe to bring them home, because you bond with them and you can teach them things in the early stages of your development, it really puts everything behind when you get them 6 months later, because it takes a lot of the training, tender training years out. I started with my dog, my previous dog, when he was 7.5 weeks, and the breeders were going out of town, so they sent the puppies home like a half a week early. And that animal is doing scent work. He is picking keys off of the floor if my friend is on a walk and his wallet falls out of his pocket, because I had to leave him with a friend. I don't want to go into all the circumstances of that, but they needed him. And when my friends got injured, the dog would bring him stuff, and that stuff I taught my animal. And I started that when he was a puppy. Like, when I was bringing him home, I was taking small steps to teach that thing to him. So I called, and I called the CDC representative, and the representative forwarded a concern and a request to the CDC directly. And I think it's important that we all say something about this, everyone who has a problem with it. The more we talk about it, the more likely we'll be able to get a response. I think that they need to know that there's a lot of people struggling with this, so that they know it's not just 1 or 2 people, it's a lot of people, so that they'll want to do something. I think the biggest important thing is that we emphasize that for low-risk countries, we have a change in rules, or an exception in the rules, or just like a lift on the age limit, because I think that's going to be safer. But as for the high-risk countries, I perfectly understand that, and I think that the high-risk countries are like, the regulations are definitely worth it in those areas. So please take a look into it. Maybe consider speaking out and contacting the CDC and letting them know about that. Thanks.